My brother-in-law declared himself the CEO of our family's company after my sister died. His jaw dropped when the lawyer gave him a reality check. My brother-in-law Mark had been measuring my sister Rachel's office since the day the doctors said terminal. 3 weeks before she actually passed, he was already on the phone with furniture stores, asking about executive desk delivery times. He told his drinking buddy Carl that Rachel's death was unfortunate, but also an opportunity for fresh leadership. The company needs someone with bigger vision, he'd said while Rachel was still breathing through tubes. Someone who understands modern business, not this old-fashioned family nonsense. Mark had never worked a day at Hanjin Manufacturing, but he'd watched enough business podcasts to think he was qualified. The morning after Rachel's funeral, Mark arrived at the company at 6 a.m. with a locksmith. He had the man change the locks on Rachel's office while maintenance was still cleaning. By the time employees started arriving at 8, Mark was already sitting behind Rachel's desk, her personal items boxed up in the hallway. He'd even brought a nameplate he'd ordered online. Mark Reese, president and CEO. No discussion, no board meeting, just Mark declaring himself in charge because he'd been married to Rachel for 7 years. Our CFO, Mrs. Rena, walked in to find Mark going through confidential files. "Excuse me, what are you doing?" Mark didn't even look up. "Getting familiar with my company's finances. There's a lot of waste here. Going to have to make cuts." Mrs. Rena stood frozen. "Your company?" Mark finally looked at her. "My wife ran this company. Now she's gone, so it passes to me. That's how marriage works. Shared assets. What's hers becomes mine." He'd already sent emails from Rachel's computer announcing his immediate takeover, telling department heads there would be mandatory meetings to discuss restructuring. His nephew Kyle was being brought in as operations manager. Kyle was 22 and had just been fired from a sandwich shop for stealing. I arrived at the office to find chaos. Employees were standing in clusters, confused and angry. Mark had posted a new organizational chart in the break room with himself at the top, and all of Rachel's trusted managers demoted or removed entirely. When I walked into Rachel's office, Mark was on a conference call with our biggest client. "Yes, as the new owner, I'm thinking we need to renegotiate rates. 30% increase seems fair." I disconnected the call. "Mark, you need to leave." He leaned back in Rachel's chair like he owned it. "Actually, Jordan, you need to leave. I'm having security escort you out later today. Can't have hostile family members disrupting my business." "Your business?" I kept my voice steady. "You think you own Hanjin Manufacturing?" Mark pulled out a folder he'd prepared. "Marriage is a legal partnership. Rachel owned this company. As her surviving spouse, I inherit her assets. It's basic law. I've already had Kyle start boxing up your office too. We're turning it into a meditation room. Progressive leadership." That's when Mrs. Rena returned with our company attorney, Mr. Huang. He was carrying a thick leather folder and looked oddly pleased. "Mr. Reese," he said cheerfully, "I heard you've declared yourself the new owner." Mark stood up, trying to look imposing. "Not declared. Inherited. I'm Rachel's legal heir." Mr. Huang opened his folder. "Interesting. And what exactly do you think you've inherited?" Mark was getting annoyed. "This company. All of it. Rachel's shares, her position, her authority." Mr. Huang pulled out a document. "Could you tell me what percentage of Hanjin Manufacturing Rachel owned?" Mark scoffed. "All of it, obviously. She was the CEO." "Actually," Mr. Huang said, flipping pages, "Rachel owned exactly 0% of Hanjin Manufacturing." Mark's face went pale. "That's impossible. She ran everything. Running and owning are entirely different concepts. Rachel was an employee, a highly paid employee with the title of CEO, but still an employee. She received a salary, benefits, and a performance bonus, but she didn't own a single share." Mark grabbed the documents. "But her father founded this company. Her family built it." Mr. Huang nodded patiently. "Yes, Mr. Hanjin founded it, and he structured it very specifically. The company is owned entirely by the Hanjin Holdings Corporation. That corporation has exactly 2 shareholders. Jordan here owns 51%, and the Hanjin Employee Trust owns 49%. But Rachel was a Hanjin. She had to own something. She had the option to purchase shares," Mr. Huang explained, "but she never exercised it. She preferred taking her compensation in cash rather than equity. You'd know this if you'd ever actually looked at her employment contract." Mark was sweating now. Full story on channel, link below.